Hello, and welcome to Addicted Like Us, a podcast discussing all things written by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm your host, Haley, and today I have with me Olivia, aka Olivia Fantasy Reads, here to talk about Kiss the Sky, Book 4 in the Addicted series. And if you missed it, last week was part 1 of the discussion for Kiss the Sky, and this week we are continuing on with part 2 of the discussion. As a quick recap, I'm Haley, a longtime reader and lover of Krista and Becca's work. I'm also a part-time illustrator, and I had the privilege of working on the special edition covers for the Leica series. Now, I love to spend my time talking about all of my favorite books, aka anything written by Krista and Becca. So the Addicted Like Us podcast was created so I could sit down with friends and discuss all of our thoughts. And let me reintroduce you to Olivia.
Hello. I started reading. It's almost my 1 year anniversary of addictedness. So I know some people celebrate, their
I
addiction.
celebrate every year that milestone.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I don't even know the exact date, but anyways, yes. And I was fearful of the Addicted series. I was like straight up scared. I was like, I'm not gonna like this. This is gonna break my heart and I don't want to do it. It did break my heart, but it put it back together and made it
In the
whole.
best way.
So,
It broke your heart in the best
yes.
way.
Yes, I adore the series now, and I laugh at myself because what took so long?
Indeed. But you're here now, and that's all we could ask for.
And that's
And
all
now
that
you're on.
matters.
Yeah, exactly. And now you're on a podcast sitting here talking about it. Look at
I
you.
know. Like, what happened?
Yeah. Okay. But quick spoiler warning. Obviously, this is a deep dive into Kiss the Sky. If you have not read Kiss the Sky, please come back after you've read it because there are going to be so many spoilers. I issued this with part 1, and hopefully at this point you've already read it, and that's why you listened to part 1 of Kiss the Sky, and now you're back. So you've been warned, spoiler warning. As a quick recap for what we've already covered in Kiss the Sky, we've met Rose and Connor. They are currently being filmed for a reality show along with Rose's sisters, Lily and Daisy, and Reich and Lo. And they are just kind of juggling what it's like to be on a reality show. They just got done with the first episode being premiered and what editing is like. We've met the villain of the book, and he is the executive producer.
Wait, did I turn it back? Okay.
And he has been editing them poorly and just trying to at this point, undermine everybody, most especially Rose and Connor. And we don't like him. And we just met Daisy's new boyfriend, who is a 23-year-old model, and we don't like him. And they're all about to go on their spring break trip to
The
the French Alps.
Alps.
Okay, so diving back into the Kiss the Sky discussion. They have arrived in the French Alps for spring break. Um, and everyone at this point has officially met Julian. He was on like the plane with them.
Mm.
And they're all very proud of themselves because it was so clearly Scott has not been airing Julian on the reality show because he wanted to get that big reaction to everyone finding out who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone held in their reactions super well, and they're all so proud of the fact that they didn't give Scott the drama that he wanted,
Mm-hmm.
which good, go them. But they're not happy that
Go Course
Daisy
6.
is dating Julian. They don't like Julian.
Uh, I don't think. No, I know Daisy doesn't like Julian.
Nobody likes Julian.
No.
Literally no one.
Except that one guy that's running the shoot.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I think I can't remember when. We'll bring it up later.
Yeah.
Why Daisy won't break up with Julian, but yeah, they yeah, I think I remember where it is. So it's the sisters in the kitchen, like getting things settled in this cabin that they're staying in, and they're talking. And we also learn that Daisy despite saying that she's orgasmed before, she actually hasn't. And it seems to be something that she struggles with, to the point
Hmm.
where Rose is bought her a book that actually like teaches her how to touch herself. And she's still struggling with it.
What a Rose
Um,
thing to do. Here's a book.
yeah,
It'll
it's
teach you.
very, let me give you the very like
Hmm.
scientific, I don't want to say scientific, feels more like Connor Cobalt, but like
Yeah.
let me give you this very educational tool
Piece of
to learn
literature.
how to orgasm. But um that's something that's important to remember about Daisy for later. And then Rose shares with Lily and Daisy that she's done more with Connor.
Hmm.
Again, they still have not had sex, but they basically they've led up to that point and they're just waiting on the right time.
Yes.
Um, and meanwhile, the guys are outside interrogating and questioning Julian, and we see how much more of a dick he is, because they're talking about like, you're 23 and none of us would date Daisy because she is 17 and a minor at this point. And what are you, like, literally, what are your intentions with Daisy? And he shares what those are. And he also does not like Reich because Reich is friends with Daisy and he thinks Reich is jealous of Julian and that Reich just wants to be dating Daisy right now. Which, no, Reich knows right from wrong, and that's not
He
what he
can
wants.
wait till the public. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just crazy how open
Um,
he is with his intentions.
yeah.
Like it's disgusting. And
And
then,
so Julian says, he's like, here's when Reich can have Daisy. He can have her when I'm done. I can give you the exact date. I'll need about 3 hours on February 20th of next year, which
oh
is Daisy's
please, you
18th
probably need
birthday.
30 minutes. Like get over yourself.
We hate Julian. He is also scum of the earth.
Yeah, he's like right below Samantha.
He's very slimy.
Yeah, he's on the list. He's on the
Yeah.
list. The
Um,
villain list. But he's gross.
he is gross. So then we get them playing a drinking game later in the evening, and Lily and Lowe and Reich are doing the strip version of, instead of taking a shot, they have to strip. And poor Lily is like losing so horribly at these games. I think they're playing Never Have I Ever right now, and Lily has just done everything. She's like I think they said that she was gonna do the strip version, and she like goes into her bedroom and bundles up and is like wearing all of this stuff and bobby pins and like overcoats, and is trying to take everything off so slowly so she doesn't lose. Oh, poor Lily.
Yeah, it was cute.
She's so cute. And then Daisy is also not doing so well at this game and is getting really drunk. And Julian is letting it happen. He's like, "Oh, you're feeling
You're
drunk and you have to drink for this answer. Oh, maybe you could skip it." No, he doesn't let her skip it. He's like,
mm-hmm.
"Yeah, sure, absolutely. Take that shot. Go for it, baby."
Yeah, he's ready for her to be drunk.
Yeah. And definitely other characters have noticed at this point and are like trying to keep their eye on Daisy and take care of her because she's not in a state where she can take care of herself. And even at one point, Daisy gets up. She's sitting next to Julian. She gets up and she goes and sits next to Reich instead,
Yeah,
which is just like, I think
even
Rose
drunk.
says, in this moment, Daisy has picked Reich over Julian. That is
Mm-hmm.
solidified in my mind. But they also start reading the more comments from the public. It's so cute, and they learn more about like stan talk.
Yeah, lingo.
Oh yeah, all of the lingo, what OTP
Which, to be
stands for.
honest, I didn't know what that meant until I read this book.
I don't remember if I knew what OTP meant at this point
Yeah, I think this is
when I first read it,
how I
but
learned about OTP.
yeah. But
I mean, I knew
OTP and
about
what it,
ship names.
yeah, ship names.
Yeah.
I didn't know about ship names. And what it means to be canon and all of that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
It's so cute because Lily and Lo just like they know all of
Oh,
this from
And they're so
being
excited to know it.
yeah, they know all of this because they read comics and they understand what's canon, and then if they're like shipping certain characters in the comics, and Rose and Connor just don't understand, and they're like, "Oh my God, we get to teach Rose and Connor all about this. We're so smart."
So cute. I adore it.
Yeah, they're so cute. And then when it's time for bed, Reich doesn't really want to let Julian take Daisy to her bedroom. Like, Julian wants to take her to a bedroom and, probably stay in there with her. And nobody wants to let that happen.
No.
So Lily and Rose volunteer that they're going to be the ones to stay.
And sleep with her.
Yes, stay in Daisy's room. And I think that's the plan. But then Rose still winds up going back. She goes back to the
Rose
bedroom
is
and she
also
says,
pretty drunk.
yes, Rose is also drunk. She's drinking at this. She's not participating in the strip version. She's doing the drinking version. She's pretty drunk at this point. So she goes back to the room with Connor first, and then is like, I'm gonna go back and I'll sleep in Daisy's bed afterwards. But for now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go spend time with Connor because she's feeling kind of horny.
Very. It's so funny.
Oh yeah, drunk Rose is her own creature.
My bestie.
We love her. He brings in strawberries and like puts one in her mouth to see how drunk she is. Like, she needs to be gentle with the strawberry. And
so
she's not. She bites straight into that. They're like, he does other things with her and she bites into the strawberry, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. If you bite into the strawberry, you can't have anything else in your mouth. Isn't this where she admits that she wants him to be rough with her?
I think it is. Yeah, can you be rough with me?
Yeah, I was like, I think this is the chapter where she finally because this is from Rose's point of view, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's talking about how, like, I can't tell him this, like, I don't want to tell him this. And so it's the part I completely missed this the first time I read it. I thought Connor was just like, this is how you like it,
Right.
and I completely missed where she
She
knew this is what she
wants it.
liked, but she
Yeah.
didn't want to say it out loud. And I was like, that's the key part, like,
Yeah, she
to
wants
hit.
it. This is
And that's what he's been waiting
there's
for.
like this dominant submissive dynamic for them, but there's still equality in it as well, and they both
Yes.
want it. They're both on equal footing here.
Yes. And she gets her booty spanked.
And he gets her to admit that her body is his to take care of. She holds his hand on her and is like, "This is yours." And he goes, "It took you long enough. And how long do we have left? Forever." I love that. But yeah, the ending. I love the ending. 'Cause
That quote's great.
it's
That in the back of your mind.
Oh yeah. Yes. And then she passes out. Yes. I smile as everything fades to black because she is drunk. And then it goes into the next chapter, and I think it's the morning after, and I think it's so cute. There's this moment where he like speaks French to her, and she goes, My hangover has destroyed your French." And it's a moment of seeing Rose not so put together. I love seeing that, but she's clearly very hungover. And Connor's under the impression that most of what they did the night before she
She's
doesn't
not gonna
remember because she was drunk. But then she's like, "Don't worry, next time I'll be sober." And he's like,
I was like, yes,
"You remember?"
Rose.
"You remember?" And he's so happy that she does. So Rose, after like Connor celebrating the fact that Rose remembered that, like, just basically committed herself that forever this is I am yours. She suddenly realizes that she was meant to go sleep in Daisy's room, and she didn't. So she panic runs into Daisy's room, and we find out that Lily slept in the room, but also Lo and Reich slept on the floor, because they weren't sure if Lily would be able to ever, like, if Julian were to come in and try and force himself into the room, would Lily be able to defend Daisy?
No.
So Lo and Reich are in there too. And Reich
he
gets
got a
up.
text message.
Yeah, Reich gets up. He has a text message, and he goes to Connor and asks him about this because Connor has Julian's phone number. And so Reich had gotten a message that was very vulgar about Daisy. And he asks Connor to verify who this text came from, and it's Julian's phone number. Connor can verify that. And that's not, it's like, Daisy can't be with Julian then.
It was nasty.
It was
He
very
he's
nasty.
he was like basically like gangbang. He was going
Yes.
with his friends. Like,
Yes. And they wind up telling Daisy about it. And this is where we find out that Daisy isn't sure if that was truly what Julian said, because he's nicer to her, and they're like, yeah, he's not going to be nice to me. I'm a guy. But also, she can't break up with him because she's in a fashion campaign with him, and the designer really likes Julian. So it would be really awkward if she were to break up with Julian, because then she could lose out on the fashion campaign.
yeah, because they would choose him over her.
So yeah, she freaks out. She's still like very uncomfortable over this, and despite Connor and Reich saying that she needs to break up with Julian, she can't. And then Julian steps out of his bedroom, and she sees that, and she runs away. And Reich runs after her. And then we have this moment with between Connor and Julian, where Connor confronts Julian of like, Reich got this text from you, and Julian's like, I never sent that text. So then it's either Julian is a liar, or...
And it's hard to tell because Julian did make that comment about...
Yeah, like he's still very...
like,
yes, he's
you can
still
have her
very
when I'm
clean.
done.
Right. But it could be that it's Julian or it's production.
Yeah.
And in either case, it's not a great option.
No.
But at the very end of that, Connor looks out the window, and he sees Daisy running barefoot in the snow. And Reich is running after her, and he takes care of her. He wraps it, like, he gives her his jacket and like picks her up so she's not standing in the snow.
And
Connor
it's
just feels... It's an
innocent moment.
It is an innocent moment. I like it too because Connor and Reich very much butt heads a lot. They're very they have very different personalities, and we've seen a little bit of it in Addicted for Now, and we can see a little more of it in Kiss the Sky too, and we'll continue to see how they oppose each other. But this is a moment where Connor's just sort of like, no, Reich is a good guy.
Yeah, and it's also a pivotal moment in Daisy and Reich's. Yeah.
It's a very important moment to remember for later on. But yeah, Connor says, for as much as I give Reich a hard time, I can't imagine a person with a kinder soul.
Yeah. Oh.
I know. It's like such a nice acknowledgement from Connor. So then later on in the trip, there is a day where they go skiing, and they're coming back from skiing, and Rose and Lo are hanging behind. I think they're arguing. So Connor is walking into the cabin with Lily, and Lily gets a phone call from this unknown number, and she picks it up, and it's a porn producer calling because he wants her to star in something. And she's like, can you talk to my lawyer? And hands it over to Connor and has Connor pretend to be her lawyer. And he takes care of it.
There's so much foreshadowing in that, like, one little area.
So much foreshadowing. Like,
yeah, because we
books have it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here calling it all out, and then I'm going to bring it up later, and I can't wait.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I love it when authors do that, because it's just, like, so cool, like, to me, to see, like, they had a plan the whole time.
They did. I love to see the little sprinkles of what they had planned. But after that, Lily says, like, I need to change my phone number again, and I'm only going to give it to 6 people. And he's assuming that it's to her sisters and Lo and her family, or her parents. And she's like, no, I'm actually just going to give it to, like, maybe it's not the 6, but, like, other 5 people, and it's the rest of the core 6. Like, not even her. She doesn't even trust her parents to not give away her phone number. And it's a cute moment for Connor, because he's like, what does he say? I have a family, a real family. It's not something you can win. I didn't manipulate a soul to get here. I have it because they like me for me. Yes, Connor. You don't have to put on a fake face for them. I love it. You can just be yourself, and they love you for it. It is. And you love them for it. And let's all catch up, and we all love each other. Come on, Connor.
Got this.
But then after that, so that was like a sweet Lily and Connor moment. But then Scott comes in and he tries to give Lily
Magic Mike.
a Magic Mike DVD, which feels like such a throwback to say at this point. But he tries to give her the DVD, and Magic Mike is one of those movies that they don't want Lily to watch because it could trigger her compulsions, and they just don't want to risk that. But she's trying to justify it as I want to live this normal life. But Connor is so mad at Scott for doing this, and it's like he can see that Scott is messing with her addiction, and
And I do think it's a true internal battle for Lily because she
yeah,
does want this, she wants a girls' night.
she just wants to be this normal person that can watch a normal movie and not have to worry about what could trigger her compulsions. Um, but she can't at this point, and it's also Connor recognizing that Lo is not in the room at the moment. This is something that Scott has heard Lily and Lo talk about, and he's one messing with Lily's
Weakness.
addiction and kind of undermining Lo too. And Connor wants to be that good friend and defend Lily and also Lo in the process. And he's also just like so mad at Scott for trying to mess with their addictions. He's like, it's real and painful, and if you put them in those places, you don't need to be scared of anyone but me. I will kill you myself. And I mean it, not because Lily is Rose's sister, not because Lauren is my friend, but because there are some things in this world that are just wrong. It's like, yes, go Connor. Thank you for being such a champion.
Papa Bear. Papa Bear.
So protective. We love it. But Lo appreciates that, and it helps start mending their friendship again. And that brings us into the next chapter where Connor goes on a run with Lo and Reich, and they are trying to decide who is going to be Lo's best man at the wedding. And both Connor and Reich want to be the best man.
Which is, again, another, like, such a funny thing to see three, like, big grown men, like, have this conversation. Like,
I know. And this is one of those moments where we see Connor and Reich butt heads a little bit of like, I'm going to stand next to Lo at the altar.
Like, he's my best friend. No, he's my best friend.
And we'll tie Reich to the arch like the dog he is or something like that. They just, yeah. But,
it was funny. I thought it was funny because they're just so like, and it's only with each other. Like, it's so fun. Like, they just have fun with each other. And even though, like, they both do want it, neither one of them are actually, like, mad about it. Like,
right. It's not like they hold a grudge about it and carry it later. This is just the way they talk to each other. But they flip a coin to see who's going to be Lo's best man. And Connor loses, and it's another moment. Surprise. Well, yeah, because Connor doesn't believe in luck and fate, and he's just really upset that in this moment when he has to put like something that he wants on the line as a moment of fate, he got the short end of the stick, and he's not happy about that. So we've reached the end of the trip. It is like their last night in the French Alps. And it is go time. But yeah, so Rose and Connor have sex for the first time. And Connor gives Rose it's a collar necklace. It's like a diamond studded collar style necklace. That she's at first like, I'm not a dog. You can't collar me. And then she's like, no, I kind of want the necklace.
I like
And he
diamonds.
makes her beg for it, but she wears the necklace. He restrains her. Also, they do have sex without a condom, but it's again like...
But it's addressed before they do.
Yes.
Yeah, they address that she is responsible. She's very good at taking her birth control.
Yeah.
And that, they're both good to go. Yes, so it wasn't just like off the cuff. It was very much established.
But yeah, so then they have sex, and at the end, they're so sweet about it at the end. Like, it's rough, but then at the end, it's so sweet, and I wanted so many things. Oh, no, that actually, it's rough. But he says something sweet, too, and I think it's right before he actually does it. Where I've wanted so many things in life, but you're the one thing that has meant the most to me. And then it's translation, I love you.
Yes, that's the first time she said it.
Yeah, so it's like Rose starting to recognize that Connor may not say it, but his actions are saying it, and she can recognize that he does love her, but
Mm-hmm.
he just refuses to acknowledge it at this point. But yeah, so they have sex, and then at the end, it's you and me. We fuck like winners.
Yes, they do.
Hell yeah.
That's such a fun
I
because he
love that.
laughs and says it.
I know. Because like that was one of her big worries was
Uh,
she was going to be sloppy and not and awkward, and she didn't want to be that way, and she was afraid that like Connor's had sex with other people at this point, and she was afraid that she would not measure up
yeah.
to the other people that he's had sex with.
It was just such a
Um,
reassuring moment because
yes, we fuck like
he
winners.
said we, not he.
No, I know. It's like the two of them together.
Yes, I loved them.
Um, and then it goes into the next chapter, which is really short, but it's like a sweet moment with Rose and Connor. It's like immediately after they finish having
Mm-hmm.
sex, and they're coming down, and it's just Rose is starting to doze off, but it's the I'm the one who should be glad I had no one before Rose, no true family, or no true friends, no family, not really. Now I have her. I have people I care about, people that I want to protect. Now I have everything. And he's just like being so grateful for all of the things that Rose brought to his life. I love that.
It's like Connor. That's called love.
I know. Come on, get with the program. We're all at this point except you. Come on.
It's okay, Connor. We'll wait. We'll wait for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the next chapter is the morning after.
Yes.
And
Oh.
she, Rose goes into the bathroom and she's like, I think she's covered in bruises and hickeys. I don't remember if it's hickeys, but like definitely bruises at this
I think
point.
she said hickeys.
Um, yeah, and she's like trying to put on a bra and it's so uncomfortable for her. And Connor comes in and takes care of her.
It's so
He
cute.
takes her necklace too. He takes the collar necklace. And she's like, you
Yes.
can't take this back.
She's like, I want this. It
This
has
is my
diamonds.
gift. But he gives her a new necklace instead. So
It's all good.
yeah, it's all good.
That's so
Um,
cute, too. Because
it's
he was like, this is for when we play.
yes.
Yeah, not any
And
other
this is
time.
for every day.
Yeah.
And then they just like spend the rest of the day in bed. They're trading quotes again. But there's a Connor Cobalt original in there. Time is but a fool as we are to the mercy of its hands. He tries to stump her with that one. She's like, I don't know who said that. He goes, it's a Connor Cobalt original.
He would. He would.
He would, yes. And then later, Lily and Daisy come in to see Rose, and she shares with them that she lost her virginity, and Lily screams so loud that everybody else comes running into the room.
Get it?
And Lily feels so guilty. She's like covering her mouth. So she apologizes, but like Lo comes in, everybody comes in. So then this is when Rose says to Reich and Lo, yes, I also lost my virginity. And Lo is like, he's so nice to her in this moment. It's so sweet. He's just like, I'm happy for you. Like the two of them butt heads so much,
Yeah.
and he's been really worried about the fact that Connor's gonna have
Mm-hmm.
sex with her and leave her, and Connor's like, I'm still sticking around after this, Lo, don't worry. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's so funny to be like, oh, they're bringing, like, Rose and Connor had sex, but don't worry, Lo, everything's fine.
Lo is so.
It's like
He
he
has
has
his
to be
moments.
involved in this somehow. It's so weird to think about, but
It's like he really honestly thinks he's a Calloway sister. He's like, I am one of them.
and then the chapter ends with Scott coming in after having been on the phone with Samantha.
Such a
Connor
snake.
Connor
Yeah.
takes the phone to talk with Samantha, which is something to mention later on what she says to him. But it's also a Rose's kind of, I think she's semi-dressed at this point, like she's wearing a robe or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Connor then has to leave like if he's going to placate her mom, then he has to leave Rose alone, and then that's leaving Rose alone with Scott. And
Mm-hmm.
I think Connor looks to Lo as like, yeah, Lo is like telling Scott to get out of the
The
room and
room.
being
Yeah.
defensive and protective of Rose in this instance, which is also very cute. It's sweet. But we get into the next chapter where they're finally back in the States,
Mm-hmm.
and we learn that Scott never aired. Like, Rose looks at the camera at one point on their flight back and is like, I lost my virginity to Connor, and Scott never shares any of it. So the public does not know that,
They want to keep her a virgin.
yes, for the sake of the show at this point. And there's also like this brief mention, add it to my list of why I don't like Samantha, that Connor was on the phone with her at the end of the last chapter, and she's fully convinced that Scott is really Rose's ex-boyfriend, and she's, how
Just how
stupid can you
much.
be? It's, I'm sorry, Samantha, I'll be better about excuses or something. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
you better, or I'll convince Rose to give Scott another chance, which he deserves. Oh my
Like,
God, you
come
are
on,
so dumb.
Samantha.
But yeah, so Connor is now at the Cobalt Inc. offices late at night, and he is leaving for the evening, and he runs into his mom,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, we're gonna have, you, me, and Rose are all gonna have dinner. No more excuses. You can't put this off anymore. I will go to Rose if you don't, and we'll schedule this without you.
Yeah.
And then right after that, Connor gets this text from Rose, and she's like, there's a Lily and Lo problem, and you need to come home.
Ugh.
So then he comes home and basically learns from Rose and Reich that they found a couple of things. And the first is, Reich found the tequila bottle and the wine bottle that Rose and Connor had in their bedroom. It's now in Lo's room, and the bottles are empty.
Mm-hmm.
And they also found a videotape, like a camera from production, and when they played it, it's Lily asking Lo to give him a blowjob, and then they go into a bathroom, and it sounds like she does, which she's not allowed to have public sex, so it looks like she's breaking her blacklist. It,
They go in the bathroom to get away from all the crowd because it wasn't
yeah,
there like paparazzi, and then
yeah, Lily was feeling uncomfortable with the
and
amount
she
of
asked
attention
him
they were
that
getting.
in the bathroom when her anxiety spiked.
So
Mm.
basically, at this point, it's like there's concern that Lily and Lo have relapsed, and they're worried about them. And
And they're trying. They are smart enough though to question whether or not.
yes, they're questioning it. But Rose and Reich are definitely still in this kind of untrusting phase. Like, yes, it could be production, but also I think there's a part where Rose is like, Lily's been under a lot of stress, and Reich is like, but she shouldn't have been asking Lo that question in the first place.
Hmm.
And they're
Hmm.
still like kind of untrusting of
Yeah,
Lily and Lo. And Connor's over here being that defense, like, I don't want to believe that they did this.
because they had them all fooled for so long. Like
Yeah.
so, it's like they don't want to make the wrong call again. S-
Right. Yeah, he's very defensive, and it's like, they want to talk with Lily and Lo about this, and Rose and Reich are very ready to go in and just start throwing out accusations at them, and Connor's like, well, let's hear their side. The option is you can go in and accuse them of being dishonest, and that they're awful. They're, what is it? Let's just act like they're two dishonest, despicable addicts who don't deserve to explain their side of the story. And he's just very like, I love that he is on their side of, let's just give them a
Yeah,
chance to explain. There could be, he wants to believe in them so badly. I think he really does care for them in this moment, and it hurts him to think that they are
and he's questioning it.
relapsing,
Yeah, he's
and he doesn't,
questioning it.
yeah, he doesn't really want to see them backslide at all, and he would rather hear their side of the story and hope that it is production that's messing
Yeah.
with them. So that leads into the next chapter, where they do bring Lily and Lo and confront them about what they find.
And this chapter gets
And
rough.
oh yeah, these
Yeah.
next it's like
Is it a few
it's a couple of
chapters?
chapters
Yeah.
long. They're kind of quick chapters, but it all happens so fast. But first, they talk about Lo. They ask Lo about um, the the tequila and the wine bottle, and he denies drinking, but he can't prove that he hasn't been drinking. They're like, show us the antabuse, and he's like, I
Yeah.
can't because I stopped taking it, and
But
he
he
had
didn't
not
tell
told
anybody.
anybody that he stopped taking his antabuse. And he didn't even tell Lily. That's the big thing, too.
And this all stems from that incident in Mexico
Yes.
when he ate
Yeah,
the taco.
I think it's a couple chapters after that. Like it's still in the scene where Lily talks about it. But yeah, it's
Oh, it didn't happen in the book previously?
no, so it didn't sorry. It's Lily didn't know about the antabuse and he stopped taking the antabuse because yeah, he's tired
Yeah.
of having to look at all of the ingredients in everything
Mm-hmm.
he consumes because yes, in Mexico he accidentally had that taco and he didn't know that like the fish was beer battered
Yeah.
and that's what caused him to throw up. Um but so they find out that Lo stopped taking antabuse and there's a point where Rose is like don't be an idiot and that just triggers Lo. He's really
Mm-hmm.
upset. So he
And
goes over
lo,
to her bookshelf and starts throwing down all of her sketches.
because he knows she has OCD.
Yeah, and get like flares her OCD and she has a bad like panic attack. And then it flips into Connor's point of view where he's watching her have the panic attack and he's trying to get to her and take care of her. And she's like they're charcoal sketches. I'm pretty certain, and so her fingers are on it, and she's getting her hands dirty, and she's
Mm-hmm.
smudging the drawings, and it's like, it's just all really bad, and she's struggling and like breathing heavy, and Lo is still trying to kick her. He's like, you're only with this guy who like wanted you for your virginity, and he's still poking at this.
Yeah, it took
Um,
you 23
yeah,
goddamn years to finally lose your virginity, and you lost it to a guy who's just fucking you for your last name.
yeah. So like Lo is still, yeah,
Yeah.
he's hitting where
And,
it hurts.
and that's when
And
Connor finally steps in and,
yes, it's a moment where we see Connor get really upset with
yeah,
Lo.
like, he's like, enough.
Yeah. But he does get her to calm down, and then they return back to the group as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they're side by side, where I always want to
I
be with
get
her.
knocked down. I
Yeah.
get up again.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
then
And
it goes
even
back.
Lowe knows he went too far, I
Yes,
think.
he
Like,
does.
because they always say Lowe fights with words and
Yeah.
Reich fights with his fists. And Lowe was like aiming for that. But then even he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I
Yeah, that
probably
was
should not have gone that
yeah,
far.
that was a low blow.
Yeah.
Um, and then when Rose and Connor return, we see Lily kind of confronting Lo, and this is the moment where he's like, "You don't know what it's like. Me, like, I'm so sick and tired of having to keep track of what I'm eating. This isn't the
Mm-hmm.
life I want to live. You have no idea what it's like." And Lily's like, "Yes, I do. I'm also an addict, and I know
Mm-hmm.
exactly what you're going through right now, and you can't be dishonest with me. Like, it hurts that you like."
Don't believe.
Well,
Or no, sorry,
it hurts
I was
that
reading
you,
something else.
yeah,
Yeah.
it hurts that you were dishonest with me and couldn't
Out
be
of all
open.
people, you should have told me. Like,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
we tell each other everything.
Yes. And even Rose is like, this is really, I think she says something like, this hurts. It's a hard moment between Lily and Lo, and even Lily's like, we're in a fight right now.
That's so cute, though.
I know,
We're in a fight.
we're in a fight. Yeah, I love that they have to state this is
Yeah.
something that has happened constantly, and it's always like they have to
It,
explicitly state, like, by the way, we're in a fight right now.
and Lo was like, literally, like, you could see his face
Yes.
drop, it says. Like, his whole demeanor was like, no.
Yeah, and in this moment, he's genuinely sorry, and that he's gonna start taking anti-abuse again, and like
Mm-hmm.
it's another moment of seeing that Lily and Lo, their relationship is what is most important to them, and if anything tries to jeopardize that, then like they will do everything in their power to make sure that is not the case, that they are always together. And it helps. This is another, it's like it's a quote from, I think, Addicted for Now and Addicted to You, where it's like, I want to love you more than I love my addiction. And another moment of them proving that they love each other more than
Yeah,
their addiction.
because like when she says we're in a fight, just so you know, like I really loved how like she's like, I'm gonna go sleep in Daisy's room.
Yeah.
And Lois like, we haven't had sex in 3 days. And she's like,
Mhm.
I don't care. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna, like, and it just shows like how Lily does love him more than her addiction,
Mhm.
like, and I
She
just
wants
thought,
his health to be better, and she's willing to not have
yeah,
sex in order for him. And Lo is over here like, oh my God, I can't, like, Lily's mad at me.
yeah,
And I have been really upset about taking the interviews, but I'll take it again
mm-hmm.
because Lily's upset with me and I don't want, like, okay, I will do better about my addiction this way. And so then Lily's like, I don't care about sex, and Rose is like, who cares what production says? I'm so proud of my sister for
Yeah.
saying this. We don't need to worry about everything else. And Rake is like, no, we need to talk about this too. So yeah, then they confront Lily
And
and
it's
Lo.
so sad because it's such a vulnerable moment for Lily,
I
and they're having to
know.
like call it out because production did this.
Yeah, it's so mean. But yeah, they also deny that, like, Lily did ask that question and she's like, I was having a bad, she's like, she raises her hand like she's in class.
She's
She's
so cute.
so cute.
I know. I just love her.
I know. Uh, but she's like, yeah, I was having a bad day. But I didn't have sex with Lo. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can watch me as I come out. I have a super disappointed face, and she walks off like, that's what your disappointed face looks like?
They're like, you look hot and flushed.
Yes, you look like you had sex.
Oh, it was
Poor
cute
Lily.
though, but it's just so like because she is so shy, and they are like pushing her to like actually have to be like, oh my God, I had a moment of vulnerability, and now you want me to tell you exactly what happened.
I know. Oh.
But
But yeah, so then at this point, they're like, well, if you guys are serious and we're believing you that you didn't do any of this, that means
Scott,
that production did this. And
yeah,
that's not a great answer either. So then we get to the next chapter. These are also really quick chapters where Connor is in the limo waiting for Rose because they're about to go to
dinner
dinner
with
with
his
his
mom.
mom. And then Rose sends him a fuck, kill, Mary, and it's her, Lily, and Daisy. And Connor has to send
Which,
an
let's not
answer.
lie, we all want to know.
Yes.
Yes.
It's like, it's this weird, like, so she sends that answer, and he's like, I'd fuck, kill, and marry you. And she's like, no, you have to give me the real answer. Like, you made me have to answer some other really bad one about, like, I think it's an orange tree and something else. What was it? Let me find it. I have to
I'm
do this
looking. Oh,
one-handed.
here, I got it.
The dog is with me.
He made me admit to fucking a tree, killing an orange, and marrying a book.
Yes. She's like, you can't get out of this. So she makes him answer, and then while she's waiting for his answer, she's trying to put on a pair of heels, but they have too many buckles. So she's trying to come call someone to help her. It's so very Rose Calloway of her. She's like, she's trying to get Lily to come down. Daisy is too busy. Poor Daisy is just like overrun with work, and they never see her. Um, but she calls for Lily, and Lily won't leave because she and Lo are in protest with
Oh, yeah.
Scott for messing with them, and they won't leave their bedroom because they're not supposed to film in the bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
so they won't have any footage of them to use for the reality show, and they're trying to piss Scott off that way. Um, so then she has to get Reich to do it, and it's just so funny because she's like, Reich's hands are all chalky, and like, this is the best I have at this point, so okay, fine. And it's also she's like, his hands are chalky, and she's like, don't touch my shoes when you have chalky hands. So he wipes them on the rug, and she's like,
Oh, that's
fine,
worse.
if it has to be between the rug and my shoes, my poor rug, but
Oh.
definitely not the shoes. And then Connor says that he'd fuck Daisy, kill Lily, and marry him. And then he makes her answer the same thing with Lo, Reich, and Connor. what her answer would be. And then after that, she's like, now I'm on good footing, or now I think I'm ready to meet his mother. It can't be as hard as admitting to fucking Reich method. This will be easy in comparison. It's just like how the mind games and like the mental gymnastics that
It's
they
so
take
funny.
with this game to get them in certain headspaces. It's just so
It's
so
so them.
interesting.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
so
so them.
them though. Like I love it.
Oh yeah. Um, and then we get to the next chapter where we would discover that dinner ended very fast. They are already back in the limo on the way home from dinner.
Connor was happy about that.
Oh yeah, Connor's very happy. He's opening a bottle of champagne. She's Rose is freaking out, but basically they went to dinner and his mom immediately starts with, you have so much ambition, but it's like, it's not good for your relationship
Mm-hmm.
and you shouldn't be with Connor. And it all ends with her calling Rose a silly little girl. And then Rose takes her wine and throws it on Katerina's blouse. Just, okay. Yeah, I mean, fair. She should not have said that, any of those things.
Oh, I was all for it. I was like, go Rose.
Yes.
Because why do you come out guns blazing like that?
I
Like,
know.
what?
Jeez, you wanted to have this dinner and like
Yeah.
this is how you think this like how do you think this
Like
conversation is gonna go?
this'll work. Wait,
Yeah.
what was Rose? You're right, ma'am. Bye.
Yes, you're so
Like,
right. I should break
Connor,
up
we're
with Connor
done.
right now and I'll just go. So they're having sex in the limo and Connor's like, I know you're glaring and I can't even see your eyes. What would you call that intuition or magic? And then she's thinking in her head, well, Connor doesn't believe in magic. If Hogwarts actually existed, I'm sure they'd send an owl to shit on his head. Yeah. So then she almost has the her orgasm and then the limo takes the sharp turn and then she hits her head and blacks out for a quick second and then
Hmm.
it's just so sweet Connor trying to take care of her. um he's like so concerned. We're gonna take you to the hospital. You were unconscious. But yeah, it's those moments of at the end Rose can recognize in his actions, oh, it's
Yeah. He
I
makes
feel
a
safe with
promise to
you.
her.
Yeah, I feel safe with you even if you let me bowl into four car doors. And he's like, there won't be a second, a third, or a fourth. It won't happen again, I promise. And she's like, promises from Connor, cobalt, or oaths spilled in blood. And it's like, translation, I will die for you. But also, like, I
Yes.
think oaths, making an oath with Rose is like her love language.
Yeah.
Some people have gift giving.
It is
Um,
though, because she
some
likes to
people are like, just,
have every.
yeah.
She needs to know what's gonna happen. Like
Yeah, yeah, she
it
needs
works
that
for her.
certainty. Yes. But yeah, so he like makes this oath.
Okay,
Yes.
this chapter is my favorite chapter.
So then one night it is a month and a little less than 2 months until the wedding at this point.
1 month, 20 days, mom.
Yep. Thank you, Samantha, for reminding us. And after dinner, yes, after dinner, Rose comes into their bedroom with weed that she stole from Daisy.
She confiscated it.
She,
She
yes,
wasn't.
yes. If Daisy doesn't have like if I have the drugs, that means Daisy
He
doesn't have
doesn't.
the drugs. So, but she wants to try weed for the first time, and she wants to do it with
Hmm.
Connor, which like it's so sweet. She's like, I haven't had this first before, and I want to have this
Yeah.
first with you. And Connor recognizes that and wants to like yes. So
Hmm.
they agree that they're gonna
Guy.
get high together, but he's not sure if he can because he's on Adderall. So he has to call Frederick, or like he first admits to Rose that he is
Yeah.
on Adderall,
And
and
she.
she's very shocked
Hmm.
by this.
And she gives him a
Um,
talk.
yes, because she's like, "This is something you said you'd never do, and I'm. Why are you taking Adderall?"
Yeah.
And it's so cute because it's like, yeah, it was. He lays it out that it was like, if I wanted to do Wharton and I wanted to do Cobalt Inc. and I wanted to do the reality show, like I needed some kind of stimulant, and she understands that it would have been really hard for him to give something up
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was you would have given something up
Yeah.
um if
If
you
you
did it
didn't.
right. And he's like, not you, never you. I would never
Yeah.
have given up you.
It would have been Wharton.
Yes. Yeah. And he says it would have been Wharton. And she's like, but I don't want you to give up.
Your
I don't
dream.
want me to force you to give up your dreams. And it's so sweet because he's like, my dreams have changed at this point. He withdraws from, he like
Because he
officially,
doesn't need his masters.
yeah,
It's
this was
literally,
clearly a want from
yeah,
him.
because he's nepotism. He's got the company coming, and
He's
so he's
smart enough
finally,
anyway.
yeah, he's finally coming to the realization that like if something's got to give, I'm giving this up.
So yeah, he officially gives up Wharton.
And he
Um,
chooses Rosie.
and it's so sweet because it was like, even Rose recognized it too. Um, because she's like, your MBA, I don't need it. You never needed it. That's not why you were trying to get one.
Yeah.
Like, she understands that this was just something that he needed to do, and she respected that. But my dreams have changed. The future I once imagined is gone, where I proudly accept my diploma, where I prove to myself that I'm the best because I can be. The longer I've been with this girl, the faster it's flitted away. It's so sweet. And then at the end, he's like, you I thought you would have fought me more for this. And she's like, you're wearing your emotions, Richard.
Oh my goodness.
It's so
I love, like, I don't know how I missed this the first time around. I love seeing Connor, like, unbeknownst to himself, like,
yeah,
starting to love and, like, let these things out more. And
yes.
it's just such a, oh,
It's so sweet.
I just love these books.
Me too.
I wish they were real and I was in them.
Me too.
Let's go.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, and then so to get back on track, because I am like the worst at like getting Haley off track.
And then yeah, he calls Frederick to see whether he can actually
Yeah, hi.
and he can, yeah, whether he can get high, and it's like it's safe for him. So then they smoke weed.
And
And
it's like sexy though, like
I know.
because she
There's this
can't cough, like she coughs
yeah,
like a lot
she
of people
can't
do.
like take
Not
a
that I would
drag.
know.
I
No. But
wink wink.
but and so he's like, okay, like what is it called? Shotgunning or
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's called shotgunning.
Yeah.
Um, but and like it like they're like hotboxing in a tent.
Yeah, they're hotboxing. Oh yeah. It's
It's
so
so
funny to see
funny.
these so put together
Responsible.
people and like they can kind of recognize it. It's Connor's like, you're right. It doesn't fry brain cells, only kills ambitions. How can that be worse? Like he can sense what's going on in his body, like and what he's gonna look like, but
Yeah.
it's great. So then they leave and they go downstairs because they're hungry. They got the munchies.
This is such a good part.
But but it's Lily and Lo are watching Peter Pan, and Lily is like, I need you to understand. We're watching this because I need you to understand why I think you're Peter Pan incarnate. And it's so sweet. And he's like, does that make you my Wendy? And she's like, no. Wendy, what is it?
Leaves the boy she loves. Wendy chooses mortality over the boy she loves. I would be dot dot dot.
Tinkerbell. So you're my fairy.
Yes. She's like, she
I
never
think
leaves
this is the
pain.
first moment where it's like where it's
Lily is a
officially called
fairy.
out that Lily is a fairy.
Yes. Oh. Believe in
Me
the
love.
little lily.
Yes. It all fits very well with
And it's
Lily.
just so funny because you see this side of Lo. Like earlier, he like went in hard, like knew her Rose. Like he knew
Yeah.
she was like sensitive about that topic, and like he dove straight into it to get her like down. And now
Yeah.
you see him like, oh, you're my little fairy, like to Lily. Like, and it's like, is this the same guy?
I know.
Like, what
This
is
is the
going on
same
here?
man. He's multifaceted.
Yes, but it's just so cute, like to
And
see.
then they finally notice that Rose and
Oh
Connor are
yeah,
there.
because I think that was the straw that broke it. Like, Connor and I can't keep our laughter in. So it busts out. And there's
And then
just,
Lily's like, "Can we watch them? I want to keep seeing them be high."
I do
And Lois
too.
like, "We can watch the we can
Oh,
watch it
yeah.
on the show later." True.
Yes. And it's just something kind of funny about like the two addicts finding
I know.
the shouldn't do that.
The two smartest people.
Yeah, the ones that are like the responsible
Yeah,
ones.
the straight-laced ones
Mm-hmm.
are are cutting loose for a little bit. Yeah. Um so then we get to the next chapter, which is the guys are going to teach the girls self-defense because
Yes,
again, like Daisy has been assaulted at this point and they have the pepper spray, but really they should learn some actual physical self-defense. And it's just like the sweet like this entire chapter is just seeing it's like peak core 6, I think. There's just
I
all of
agree.
these really cute interactions where
It's on the highlight
Rose,
reel
yeah, it's like
in my brain.
we see that Lily is trying to learn French because Rose and Connor are speaking French and they got subtitled in the reality show and they suddenly realized that they were actually talking about like everybody else in the room
Mm-hmm.
and they're not going to stop speaking French, so you got to learn what I'm saying. And then Reich is like whipping off his shirt, and we see that he got a tattoo, and Daisy's like, "Ooh, ow, ow," and just being Daisy with him.
I forgot he got that tattoo. It's a
Yes,
phoenix, right?
yes, that's
Yeah,
the one that he gets.
because I have a phoenix on my back, and I didn't
Oh,
know that until
you being matchy matchy,
I was like, okay, Rake.
and then we get this is I feel like this is Rowena's like
Oh yeah.
top top Roman Empire moment where Lily is like, I know how I can stop an attacker. And she's wearing her Wampa cap while she does this, but she
Yes.
does the Vulcan salute as the way to confuse people. And Lo is like, I love her. She's so cute.
She's like she reminds me so much like minus the sex addiction, but
Yes.
like young me. Like I loved all these things like Star Wars and stuff
Oh,
and
yeah.
like it's just so cute. Like
Lily, yeah. While Lily continues to part her fingers in a V shape, Lo looks at Lily like he wants to kiss her and block the rest of us out. And then he sticks his finger or his tongue through. She's like, "You desecrated the Vulcan salute." And then Sadie comes up, and we learn that like we know that Sadie is kind of mean, but we learn that at one point she scratched she scratched Daisy and he like rehomed Sadie
did he
and
scratch
Rose
Daisy or Rose?
it was Daisy.
It was Daisy.
Yeah. Yeah. The last time Daisy tries to reach out and collect Sadie in her arms, but Rake pulls her away. The last time she attempted to grab my cat,
Oh,
Sadie raked his leg. Raked
that makes sense.
Samantha was really pissed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he got rid of Sadie and she
Rose went and got her.
yeah, I think that's really sweet. But then also, it's like the Rose moment in this whole thing is Rose is like, I can defend myself against a cat or an
Mm-hmm.
animal. Or yeah, Daisy's like, if we can't protect ourselves from a cat, what hope is there left for us? I can defend myself. Rose says, shaking her pepper spray, darling, we really don't need a call from PETA in the morning. Fuck PETA, Rose. Someone's gonna throw a bucket of red paint on you. And then she has to be like, I love animals, but if anybody throws paint on my fur coat, I'm going to rip out your eyeball. It's just like, yeah, yeah, that's Rose. But at the end of this is we're seeing Connor. He's just so appreciative that he isn't at Wharton because if he had been, he would have not. This would have been a moment he would have missed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's glad that he now has time for moments like these, which is
For people he loves.
yes, yeah.
Maybe.
I wouldn't want to miss this
Maybe.
for Wharton. I wouldn't want to miss this for anything. Right here's where I'm happiest.
So cute.
Oh, Connor.
You're getting there, Connor. You're getting there.
Yeah. And then next chapter, we talked about this in part 1. Um,
Connor Cobalt making dreams come true.
yes, making all of the fantasies come true. So this is him
We're
giving
in Rose's point of view,
yes,
and we get she's being woken by something. What is
yes.
it, Haley?
It is Connor. He's waking her up.
With a soft kiss?
Uh, more like a hard thrust.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
scandalous.
Um, yes. So he is fulfilling her strangest sexual fantasy of
Yeah.
being asleep and then waking up. And
And
it's
bam, bam.
yeah.
Again, you can't
But
tell people what they like and what they don't like.
no, but afterwards we find out that it's 1 month until the wedding, and Rose is telling Connor how stressed she is because she's still trying to like at this point the show has been a success for Rose. She's been seeing a lot more sales of her
Mm-hmm.
clothes because what's been happening during the show is Lily and Daisy have been wearing pieces that Rose has designed so that more viewers will want to purchase her clothing. So
Yes.
she's seeing the sales increases, but so she's very busy with Callaway Couture. But then she's also planning Lily's wedding and she's super stressed about it. And she's telling Connor, and he is like, well, now I've got free time. And she's like,
Yeah.
this isn't why you have free time to plan my sister's wedding. But he's like, no, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be like, I'm. You do the wedding dress. Like I don't know how to do that, but I'll take care of everything else. And then at the very end, they also note that Scott has been kind of
Acting
quiet.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was really in Rose's face at the beginning and super mean and
Oh, but
crude.
the reason they get on Scott was funny because Connor looks at the list and
Oh
there
yeah.
was like
It's like
one
why is
point,
Scott?
yeah, why is
Yeah.
Scott's name on your to-do list?
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I like that bit. But yeah, so they're again, we end another chapter with like, what is Scott up to? They're questioning what Scott's intentions are, and there is this tension
Mm-hmm.
of what is going on. We don't know what he's up to, and now he's sort of disappeared a little bit.
He's spending a lot of time in his room editing.
Yeah, questionable.
Why?
Yeah,
You can't trust a snake.
we can't. So then into the next chapter, Daisy has finally finished her campaign with Julian, which
Oh
means
yeah.
it's time to fucking break up with Julian, who at this point, I think it's been established that like Julian, yes, it's everyone in this house dislikes Julian. You dislike Julian, and I don't like to generalize, but I'd say a very large portion of America hates Julian.
They do.
Because yes, they have the reality show didn't paint Julian in a good light in
Oh.
this editing, and yeah, he looks like a shit person.
Yeah.
Um, and yet this guy, this fashion designer for this campaign, loves the media attention that Julian's getting.
Yeah,
So
there's no
he,
bad publicity.
yeah, no. But that's over. So now it's time to break up. And Daisy's too afraid to break up with Julian. So Rose and Connor are like, well, fine.
We'll break
We'll
up
break
with
up
them
with him
for
for
you.
you.
It was so funny. I want to hire Rose and Connor to break up with guys for me.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Like
Handle that.
they
I don't
could
even need
totally
to
make a
worry.
service. Like people would pay for that.
Absolutely. So yeah, they go downstairs and Connor notes that Rose has probably been dreaming of this her whole life. But the boyfriend's name probably was Lowe and not Julian.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was like, was the name of this boyfriend Lauren Hale? She's like, it's fine. I still get to do it. So they break up with Julian and he doesn't take it well, and they're
Not
like,
at all.
Daisy is sitting off to the side, and when they say Daisy's breaking up with you, he's like not even talking to Rose and Connor at this point. He's like, are you serious? You can't break up with me.
Yourself.
Yeah, and just being mean to Daisy. And then in the middle of this, Lily busts in the front door,
Mm-hmm.
and Lo and Wright are hot on her tail because she found a magazine with the headline Lily Calloway, nymphomaniac, and reportedly sleeping with brothers. But Lily's upset because she's monogamous, and it's like she's so annoyed that people
It's
can't
hard
see her.
because they can't see her progress because it's in the bedroom. Like,
Yeah.
like
And she also doesn't like the term nymphomaniac, because it kind of undermines that she actually has a problem. I think, what is it that they say? Yeah.
she has a sex addiction.
Nymphomania encompasses all hypersexuality, not just
Hmm.
sex addiction. For someone like Lily, who identifies as being an addict, being labeled a nymphomaniac strengthens the debate that sex addiction is a myth. And
Yeah.
like, no, Lily truly does have a problem.
Yeah.
And yeah, she doesn't like being labeled a nympho. So she's super upset over plenty of the like so many things in this headline, and she goes to the kitchen and tries to light it on fire, and Rose and Connor are running after, like trying to calm this
Hmm.
shitstorm over here because Lily's upset, and Connor's like, well, yeah, I mean, like maybe you could light it on fire. It could be cathartic. And while they're doing that and kind of calming down
Hmm.
Lily from this, they realize that they left Daisy alone with Julian.
Yes. No, Reich's out there too, isn't he?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was Reich had been with like
Daisy
everyone
and
else in the
yeah.
kitchen, and then they
Okay.
hear Julian yell at Daisy,
Yeah.
and that's when Reich goes in and defends her.
Takes the trash out.
Yeah. And then Connor
Well,
stops Reich from wailing on Julian so that they can just get him out. And Rose and Connor are like mildly enjoying themselves. They're like, this is chaotic, but like we're kind of living for the chaos.
yeah.
Like we're the older kids here and we're taking care of everything and it's all the stuff going down, but they're like, but we're cleaning up the mess. Don't worry. Like this is us. No. And I love it. It's like Reich and Connor trying to get Julian out, and then
Hmm.
Rose comes over with her pepper spray and sprays him. Get the fuck out.
Them so much, Rose. Oh,
She's great.
but yeah.
Okay. So then, into the next chapter, Rose and Connor are having sex again. I like this because Connor's trying so hard to get Rose to just like be totally out of it. He's like, tell me one word for what you're feeling right now.
Hmm.
And I can't even pronounce the first one. It's like,
Concupiscent.
I don't know how to pronounce this. Concuss.
It's a big word.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend to try and say that. But she says a big word, and then he keeps going. Lascivious, still too big a word. Passion, we're getting there. Fuck, yeah, there we go.
Because
I love.
it's so good because the whole first part of this book, she's so in her head about everything. Like,
Yes,
and so relatable. Like, she's overthinking, she's, creating scenarios that haven't happened and probably won't happen, but could happen, that
yeah,
back and forth, like, stress about
all the
things.
scenarios. Yeah,
Yeah. And, like, Connor the whole time has been trying to get her out of her head so she can actually enjoy herself for once.
yes.
Like, feel that pleasure and everything. So it's kind of fun to see him do it.
He's finally doing it.
Hmm.
Um, but then after they finish, Rose talks about the fact that she doesn't think that Daisy will be able to live with her and Lily
Hmm.
after
The show
after
ends.
yeah, after the show ends, and it's not unless we do season two. And Connor's like, "You want to do a season two?" And she's like, "No, like
Mm-mm.
we're good after this. Like
Hmm.
everything that I wanted has come true. The fizzle stocks are high. I'm getting sales. And it's so like the public also can see that Lily loves Lo so much. It's so hard for them to deny that their love is fake at all.
Love like a
Um,
lily and love.
oh yeah, like we still have the stupid right in contention, but there's no denying the fact that Lily loves Lo.
Hmm.
And then Lily mentions, I think Connor tries to talk to her. You see it in hindsight.
Rose asked for an update, right, from Connor about the wedding
I don't know if she asked for an update
or
or if she's
something.
like, I want to talk to you about the wedding. And she's like, Connor, I was talking with Lily and she was so excited about the wedding. And you're wondering if he was like,
Gonna tell her.
yeah, which we don't tell her what.
I'm not telling you. You'll have to read the book. Goodness
Um,
gracious.
yeah. But
Where he
oh yeah, he's like about the wedding. Oh, I've been meaning to tell you I showed Lily her wedding dress the other day and she was happy, Connor. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It moves into this conversation about Rose,
Children.
where do you see your future? And she's, again, like, it's so hard for her to picture having
Hmm.
help that when she talks about her future, literally, not even her siblings have kids. Like Lily and Lo are married and they don't have kids.
Yeah.
They're happy with it. Um, Daisy has a boyfriend that's like some loser that we don't like, and Reich maybe has a girlfriend, and we're also together, but we don't have kids. And like, there are no kids at all in this future because she just cannot
Yeah.
picture it. And Connor's like, why are you so afraid
I love
to
that
be a
they talk about
mom?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And another reason that she's so afraid is like her own parental figure was really shitty. And
I mean,
like
how could you not be afraid after having to deal with all these parental figures that are just
that failed,
horrible? Like, they
yeah, that
use them
failed
like
their own
pawns.
kids.
Yeah.
And that's, if that's all you know, like, yeah, she has been around her own parents, and then she was around Jonathan Hale, who is
Mm-hmm.
also a really shitty parent. It's like a lot of what, and she's known about Connor's mom, and she wasn't a great mom, great and loving mom. It's like not a lot of the parental
Yeah.
figures in her life that she's
No.
witnessed are are good parents, and like
She literally says
how
it.
is she, how can she feel confident that she's not going to be a bad parent? Which is, well, Rose, just look at the way you treat your sisters.
Yeah. She says it. I don't want to ruin a human being, Richard. It's so sweet.
I know, she's so sweet, and
And
like
then
we had that conversation of like, if you don't want kids,
don't
then
have,
don't
yeah.
have them. And this is that moment of like, I'm too afraid to have kids because I don't know what I'm like. She's not sure if
And
she
that's
can
what
give them the life
she
that she
needs it
wants.
paved out for her. She's just
Yes,
so, like, she needs the plan.
yeah.
So,
And
and
and Connor says
yeah,
like,
okay, you got it.
well, no, it's the what do you picture for yourself? I can't look that far. Lies. You've mapped out your life already. Like, you're right.
Mm-hmm. The
She needs
plan.
everything laid out for
She
her.
needs the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we envision our futures and we make it happen. Now you make us seem utterly shallow and vain. We are, but in the best way. Um, and then at the very end, like he does reassure her, and she's like in our late 30s, so like 35 or older. If you help me, I can imagine having a little girl or two. And Connor is so happy
Hmm.
because one, again, it's this was the girl who would not even take his
Yeah.
blazer when she had a stain on her dress. And now she's like, Connor, help me. And he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be. And what is it?
He's so good at too, though, because he'll be like, I'll be there to help you, and I have no doubt that you'll love each of our children as much as the next one.
Yes.
Yeah, and like,
All
and
I
then,
ever wanted to
and then when
do,
he's like
one,
celebrating,
yes.
and
All
Rose
I
is
ever
like, you have to help me though.
Yeah, I know. When I'm 35 or older, you have to help me. And then it's the all I ever wanted to do was be on your team, Rose. You were the
Us.
one who chose to be my rival
That.
by attending Princeton. And I can't remember if I had this one. I can't remember what my favorite quote was. Um, when I do my Goodreads reviews now,
Mm-hmm.
I pick like a favorite quote to add at the top of my review, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it was this one where I like competing with you, but I like being your teammate more.
Yeah. And he calls her Miss Highest Honors, which I love.
Miss Highest Honors. Oh,
Oh.
so sweet. Okay, so now it's a week before the wedding, and they're in Vegas celebrating. They say it's just for Lily's bachelorette, but I assume it's like the bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Yeah, it was a joint one.
Yeah. Um,
Poppy didn't come.
yeah, it's this is in Rose's point of view first, and they're down at the bar. All the sisters are down at the bar trying to get a drink, and they're getting heckled a little bit from other people in the club
Mm-hmm.
that they're at, telling them to go back to Philly, and just like generally being unkind. And also Scott is up above looking at Rose and making her uncomfortable. Also, this is was a question that someone sent me a while ago, and I don't know if anybody else would have caught it and asked. But I did confirm with Krista and Becca about this. For anybody who's read this book and then also read Circus's Family, someone had questioned whether the bartender was
Oh.
Camila Ruiz, and it is not.
Oh.
It's because the bartender is really rude to Rose. It's not her. She's not the bartender. Yeah.
All right. All right.
So that was a question that I got a while ago, but I feel like here's the time to mention it. So then this goes into the next chapter in Connor's point of view, where Rose was like, in the last chapter, Rose was like, "Are you texting Lo right now?" Because Lily was texting, and she's like, "Yeah." And then it turns out that it's actually Lily texting Connor, being like, "Tell Scott to stop looking at Rose,"
Mm-hmm.
because he's making her uncomfortable. And then Connor gets up and goes to talk to Scott, and Scott's like, "I never actually wanted to date." Like, Connor is still kind of under the impression that Scott wanted to date
Yeah, he wanted to
Rose.
win her.
And Connor's like, "I have her, and you can stop staring at her." And Scott's like, "I never wanted her."
Mm-hmm.
And Connor's like, "What was it that you wanted then?" And Scott's like, because he's like, "Is it the fame?" And Scott was like, "If I wanted the fame, do you really think I'd be the producer of a reality show? You think someone's going to award me a fucking Emmy for filming 6 rich college students? And
Yeah.
is it the money?" And I think it's kind of the money. But Scott never really admits to what it is that he wanted.
Yeah.
And then,
And you get that eerie feeling, like,
yeah,
what is your plan here, Scott?
yeah, Scott asks, "There's
Yeah.
no season 2, right?" And yeah.
Yeah. And Connor's like, no.
But it's also very ominous because Connor's like, there's no season 2, and Scott's like, "It's not over."
That's what, yeah. I feel like that, yeah.
Yes, and then he says he wants more money.
I think that's the trigger for Scott
Yeah.
to pull the trigger.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. You'll see later.
We'll find out why.
We've been talking for like 100 hours, so I'm trying to still be funny, but it's hard.
That's fair. You're doing a good job. It's a lot to talk about.
But I like it.
It's so fun.
It is fun.
Connor gets a phone call from Lily, and he can hear through the speaker that Rose is getting into a fight with another guy down at the bar. And it's like getting very heated, and Rose is screaming, "Fuck you." And so
And she's
Connor
not even that
starts,
drunk.
yeah. So Connor starts running down from this balcony that he was on down to the floor to get to Rose, but before he can, this guy punches Rose in the face. And for the most part, we have seen Connor, when he's angry, we don't really see it. Connor does not show his anger very well.
No. And even when he got mad at Lo, he just screamed his name, Lauren,
Yes,
enough.
he
Like,
wants
yeah.
his home. But this moment where he sees that Rose is hurt, like, this is like peak. Connor is livid, so angry, and he punches this man in the stomach to the point that the phone that was in Connor's fist when he punched him, that phone screen broke. So he's very mad and very protective of Rose.
Yeah.
Daisy's also very upset too. She's like, "Let me at him!" And Reich is picking her up and throwing her over his shoulder. My sister. It's like, "Yeah, well, I don't want you to get in a fight either. So, like, let's just keep moving." And poor Rose is like, she didn't get punched in the nose. He like hit her cheekbone. So she's gonna have a bruise. But Connor was like, if she'd started bleeding, like,
It
that
would have been done.
yeah, that would have been game over. And then meanwhile, so Connor gets Rose out of there, and meanwhile he looks back up to the balcony and he can see that Scott is with one of the cameramen and they're smiling.
Yeah.
And I guess, what is going on?
He is one of the worst villains I've hated.
Yeah. Well, so we get to the next chapter and we figure out what's going on. So it's 4 days before the wedding, and Rose and Connor are getting ready to go to work for the day. And it's like the sweet moment where Rose is like, Connor asks her what
What color?
what color shirt he should wear, and she picks it, and she's like, I love that I want to wake up and be the woman who chooses what color he wears for the day, and I want him
Yeah.
to be the man who chooses what position we'll take at night. It's
I
like just this cute little domestic moment between them, and then Rose steps out into the hallway and she runs into Scott. And Scott's like, "Why aren't you wearing your necklace?" And she's wearing a necklace, and he's like, "No, no, the other one with a lot of diamonds." And it's like, is he talking about the diamond neck, like the collar diamond necklace? That's the one that I only wear during sex. Like, he should
mm-hmm.
not know about this collar neck. Like, he should not know about this
Yeah.
necklace. And it's kind of disconcerting, but she keeps going downstairs. Everyone else is
She can
downstairs.
sense something's wrong.
Yes.
She knows it.
Well, it was everyone else was downstairs and they like immediately turned off the TV or something like that. They were watching
Mm-hmm.
TV and they immediately turned it off and she's like, "What's going on?" So she makes them turn the TV back on. And we learn that there is a news story out and first all she hears is another Calloway sister is involved in a scandal and this time there's legitimate proof and she's like, "Oh my God, Daisy."
Mm-hmm.
And then we
No.
hear that she and Connor have a sex tape and it has been sold to a porn site
Ugh.
for millions of dollars. And Scott was the one that sold it.
Yep.
And Rose takes the remote from Lo.
Because Lo
And
keeps trying to turn it off. Yeah.
well, Lo's trying to turn it off. She takes the remote from Lo and blasts the volume. They're all like covering their ears. What is
This was
going
so
on?
funny. I just love the way she handled this.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I put out my call for help.
Yes, she did. And so it's blasting, and then finally Connor comes downstairs. And she turns to him and goes, "Look, honey, we have a sex tape." But yeah, so Connor finds out in that moment, clearly.
They're trying to, like, because that's when the contract comes up. They're like, oh,
Yes,
he's
so
going
the rule
down.
is, yeah, they're like, this can't be legal. They're questioning, like, how did this happen? We can fight him on this. And really quickly, Sadie comes out, and they're
Oh,
all
this is
afraid.
such a
And
good scene.
Rose grabs Sadie and she's like, "We're fine. We've reached an understanding at this point, and Rose can hold Sadie without Sadie clawing at
Yeah,
her."
it was like this moment where she was like, I'm going to pick this cat up. And the cat was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
everyone's like,
right.
"Oh my God."
The cat's like, you're a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch. We're good. Like,
But then after that, they get the call from Greg, and Greg is like, "Yeah, please leave the townhouse because this is clearly like you're being filmed, and we
yeah.
don't trust anything that's being filmed." And then he asks Rose over the speakerphone,
Who reviewed the contracts?
yes, and it was only Rose. She's like, "I've taken law classes at Princeton."
Poor Rose.
And
I.
Connor is like, "I didn't even realize you didn't take my lawyers with you.
hmm
Or I didn't realize you didn't take my lawyers with you."
Yeah, because Rose is like, I told you. And he's like, no,
like,
you
"No."
must have told someone else, honey.
I would have remembered. And so and what is it, Lo? Lo was like, "Why did we trust you?" They're all worried now because they realize that only Rose looked at this and there could be a loophole, but she's very insistent. She's like, "I know there was something in the contract about the bedrooms and the bathrooms. I
hmm
don't understand." So then Scott comes in. They hang up with Greg and Scott comes in.
Like the nerve of this guy. Like, I don't even, like, you just did all this and, like, you're still fucking here. Oh, sorry. We probably can't say that. I don't know. Can
You
we?
can,
Okay.
yes.
And you're still fucking here.
Well, like, it's this thing where I was just thinking he was literally just like wandering around the hallway beforehand so he could run into Rose and then
Yeah.
murder her.
Oh,
And then,
he wanted it. Like, I swear, when he was like, so there's not going to be a season 2, I swear that was the moment he was like, let's do it. Like,
yeah,
let's sell it. Let's go. There's no season 2. There's no reason to not.
I want to make my money. But yeah, so then Scott comes down and Connor walks over to him and is like, "Congratulations." And everyone's like,
What the
"What the
fuck?
fuck?" And he's going in for a handshake. And then he grabs Scott's hand, punches him in the face, and then knees him in the balls.
He said the punch is for me and this is for Rose.
"This is from me," and then kicks him in the nuts. "This is from Rose," and Rose is like, "Yeah, I'm cheering him on."
We get caveman
Oh yeah.
Connor.
And then yeah, we get that caveman Connor, and then immediately after Scott's like, "I can't wait to see what you've signed," and Connor's like, "You're seeing my reaction
Yeah.
right now. This is it."
Yeah.
This is all you're gonna get from me. But then Scott like reveals what it is, which is
This was like that villain monologue
yes.
where the villain has to like
Yeah,
tell us
from The
everything he did.
Incredibles, you dog, you got me monologuing. We say that all the time in my family. We quote that
Uh,
one. But basically, what the contract says was that anything filmed in the bedroom and the bathroom was not allowed to be aired on network television. It did not stipulate that it could not be shown on online or in any
mm-hmm.
other kind of form. And so then they realized like, oh my God, he got us. Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they also realize he shares that they were never able to get cameras into Lily and Lo's room because
They were always
Lily
in there.
was home all the time. And Reich never had sex in the townhouse.
Oh
And then they
yeah.
all look to Daisy. And Connor's
Mm-hmm.
like, you can't film, it's illegal to film minors in a pornographic situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, we know that Daisy was doing things with Julian.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we caught him. And he says that they deleted all of the footage of Daisy. So they don't have him. And yeah. So basically it sounds like everything that he did was included in this contract, which fucking sucks because
Mm-hmm.
like what legal leg do they have to stand on at this point?
And
And
this is also where we find out that the liquor was planted, Lily
yes.
and Lo in the bathroom. And this one actually kind of like, so Julian did not send that text. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about
Mhm.
that we should have? How Lo never called Julian by his
Yes.
name.
Yes, this is a quick little thing. Julian is always Julius or something, some other
Yeah,
J name,
it
and
was
never
so
Julian because
funny.
Julian is a comic book hero that Lo loves, and Julian, the model, has like desecrated that name, and
Yeah. And it gets
or
under his skin.
yes,
And that's what Lo loves.
he hasn't desecrated the name, but like Lo doesn't like that he shares this name with his
Hmm.
favorite superhero.
But that is when we find out he did not send that text.
Yes, and Julian, yeah,
So he is a scumbag, but he's not a gangbang scumbag.
right,
Yeah.
but still a scumbag.
Yeah, no. He's a hand her off after I'm done. Scumbag.
Yes. And then we also like Rose and Connor realize that he's sitting on multiple sex tapes at this point. He's only sold one, but he has so much more content from them, which is scary to think about because they can't
Yeah.
stop him they don't know how to stop him at this point.
Yeah, and once something's
Um,
on the internet, I mean, I'm gonna mom one more time, but
yeah,
even if you take it down, it's out there. Someone
it's
has it somewhere. Like, it's
yeah.
out there. Once it's out, it's out.
Um, so then Scott finally leaves and they all pack up and leave the townhouse. And it's like this sad ending. Like they've been this little core family group together for most of this book, and the band's breaking up, and Daisy realizes like so
She
yeah,
has to go
Daisy
back
is
to her
going to go back
mom's.
to the Villanova house. Reich is going to move into his apartment in Philly, and then everyone else is moving back to the house in Princeton. But Rose's the chapter ends with like she's worried about how she could be treated because she could be condemned the way that Lily was condemned when her sex addiction was leaked.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also briefly mentioned at the end of Greg's phone call with Connor. Lo questions what the hell was that when Lily's sex addiction was leaked. I got the third degree, and Greg didn't really grill Connor. Um, just something to remember that there
Mm-hmm.
are differences in the way that this seems to be being handled
Yeah.
between the different couples, but
And
something
it,
to note for later.
yeah.
Um, so this goes to the next chapter. Rose is like everyone's packing up at this point, and Rose runs into Connor, and she's so sorry. She starts crying.
This was such a good moment between them, though.
It was. He's like,
Like,
"Can I try something?" And he pulls her into a hug and like lets her cry. She's so upset because like she has believed that she's so powerful and competent and she fully believed in herself in this moment, and
mm-hmm.
she's mentioned like hubris. She's got a lot of it, and it came back to bite her in the butt, and
Yeah.
she feels like yes, he is involved in this, and it is literally, she feels like it's all because of me. Like,
Hmm.
I'm so sorry. Um, and he
My
pulls her,
favorite,
yeah,
yeah, my favorite part of that was when she was like, it was a mistake. Like, because that's so, like, like we all say that. Like, I didn't
yeah,
mean for this to happen. And then he replies, I know, you and me, we don't have a lot of those. I was like,
no,
even in this moment, he's like, I love that he's like putting her on the same level as him. So it
yeah,
like,
but they, yeah, he
mhm,
finishes that with, but they happen.
yeah.
Like, yeah, we don't have mistakes, but they do happen. We are
And
human.
that's when he
And
goes into like, can I hold you?
yeah, can I try something?
Oh my God. I
And
love
then he
them.
gives her a hug and lets her cry on his shoulder. And she's like, yeah, you're a little shoulder for me to cry on. And he's like, yes, please, I am here. It's another, I am here for you. You're safe with me. I will take care of you. You can be vulnerable.
Hmm.
It doesn't just have to be in the bedroom. You can be vulnerable with me in this moment too.
Yeah. Literally a shoulder to cry on.
Yes. And then Lo and Reich come in.
Sorry. There's no challenge we can't defeat together.
No, definitely not.
They're so cute. Okay, sorry, I could read the whole chapter, be like,
I know. I could read this whole book.
and then they said, this
Yeah,
is the
new
emotional,
podcast idea. I just sit down and I read the entire book.
yeah, this is the emotional audio book of Kiss the Sky.
Yes. Um, but Lo and Reich come in, and they kind of talk about the way that I think Rose asks how Lily and Daisy are taking things
Hmm.
because both of those guys would know. And Lily is just, he and Lily are like, I'm really sorry, but we're kind of happy right now that it's not us in the
Yeah,
middle of the scandal. Like there's a sense of relief
yeah.
here.
And
Um,
then there's also the sense of guilt for feeling that sense of relief.
yes,
Like, it's
yes.
just
He
wild.
feels guilty for saying
Yeah.
we feel relieved, but that is their honest feeling, which
Hmm.
is fair. And then Reich says that Daisy's kind of in shock.
Hmm. And I like how, like, Reich gives, like, the explanation for how Daisy's doing, and, like, they accept it. Like they know he knows,
Yeah,
and it's like a nod, like they know they're close. They know their friendship is like there, and like, you know, they don't even like, well, why would he know,
right.
even
Yeah,
low in that
it's not
moment.
a, yeah, it's not a question of why would he know. He knows they're
Hmm.
friends. But
And,
yeah.
and then Lo says my favorite line. So you like to be tied up?
Oh,
I was done. I
oh, low.
was like,
Yeah, she's a, and Connor's like she likes what she likes, low.
Lo. They didn't shame her though. They said it. They were like,
No,
no, no, no. It's just funny. Like, knew you my
yeah,
whole life, and you know,
it's
it's
but
just different.
it's so true. Like we all,
Yeah.
it's a reminder of the way everyone kind of imagined Rose to be,
Mm-hmm.
and we learn that there's more to Rose, that she
Yeah.
wants to be a little more
Remember,
vulnerable in the bedroom. And there's nothing
yes,
wrong with that.
you're
She
only
can
seeing what's put out. You don't always know what's
exactly,
going on behind closed doors, literally.
exactly, exactly. So Connor goes to see his mom and apologizes for like this scandal that he's in. But Katerina is like, I'm so proud of you, and Connor is like, why are you so proud of me? I just had a sex tape release.
Yeah, this
He's
is not tracking what you normally put down.
yeah, because he's over here thinking that he's about to get fired.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, she says she's sorry to what for what she said to Rose, and that she was not a better mother to Connor, that she didn't show love to him the way that she was supposed to as his mom,
Mm-hmm.
and that she hopes Rose will be able to bring that love to Connor's life instead. And
Which is
it's
like
all very,
earth shattering.
yeah,
Like,
it's all
for,
very strange what's going on. He does not understand what's happening in this moment. And then she tells him this news, and then it cuts away. So we don't know exactly what she told him yet. And then Connor goes to Rose's office,
mm-hmm.
and he's crying, which is, we never see Connor go cry.
Uh-uh.
This is this is big. Um, and Rose understands that too. She's like closing her office up, like she's got
Yeah.
employees, no one can see what's going, like she gives him his privacy, and tries to comfort him. And he says he basically tells her that his mom has cancer and she only has 2 months to live. And it took death for her to see all of the mistakes that she made in her life and admit her mistakes. And
And
he's
up
like,
until like not that long ago, she was still, that same, you need a housewife,
yeah,
it just, oh, poor Connor.
I know. But it took death for her to realize this. And he says that, one, you're the only one who has ever loved me. Not a mother, not a father, not a friend, just you, Rose. I don't want to be 60 years old and wishing I had opened myself up to the people I care about. I don't want to look back and regret that I wasn't a better friend or a better man to the woman I adore. And I can't tell you how long I have been fighting the truth, but it's been a while. I am so deeply in love with you, Rose.
It was so good.
And I'm sitting here like, yeah, Connor, we know.
And so is Rose.
Yes, because then we get the parallel, and she says, it took you long enough. How long do we have left? Forever. Which is the same thing that they said when she when she had her moment of Connor can have I trust Connor with my body at this point.
Yes.
And I
It's
love
perfect.
that. I love that parallel. It's so
Yes.
perfect.
And that would be a great end to a book, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be a great end. But there's an
But there's more!
there's more.
Don't go anywhere, people. Because Krista and
We still have
Becca.
a wedding for Lily and Lo to get to.
Yes. Let's do that.
Yes. So then we get the wedding with Lily and Lo. It's their wedding day. Rose and Connor are traveling to the venue because Rose is the wedding planner still, but Connor's like he's the wedding designator or something like that. She's like,
Delegator. Yeah.
yes,
He's
the wedding
delegated
delegator.
everything.
But she's panicking because it's like they're running behind schedule, and she's noticing that the flowers are wrong, and she like sticks her head out of the moving car, and Connor's like trying to pull her back. She's freaking out over what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally arrive at the venue. She steps out of the car and her sisters are waiting for her. And they're all in bridesmaids dresses. She's like,
Even Lily.
yes, even Lily is dressed in a bridesmaid dress. And she knows right away. She turns to Connor and she's like, we can't hijack Lily and Lo's wedding. But they are.
Yeah. Lily and Lo were very happy to hand it over.
Yes. So we learned that Lily and Lo, like, they had those stipulations from Addicted for Now that Lily could not have her trust fund back until she married Lo. And her parents have removed that stipulation.
Yes.
Like, the wedding is not going to be a stipulation for anything, which I love because it does take away from the love that Lily and Lo share for them to have their wedding.
Yeah, and their moment and when they want it.
Be this check mark on this list that they have. So I was very happy.
And it's good to see like the parenting kind of shift a little bit, I guess. I mean, I'm pretty
Greg's the one that shared this.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm pretty sure Samantha only agreed because the sex tapes dropped.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, it's better to have married couple sex taped than, I don't know, but.
Yeah. But yes, so then after we learn that Connor.
So they're still engaged, Lily and Lo.
Yes, Lily and Lo are still engaged and they're still planning to get married, but it's not going to be on this date. And then Connor proposes to Rose and asks if she will spend the rest of her life with him. Of course, she says yes. Who would say no? And she's like coming to the realization that he was basically the wedding planner, which means that he has planned her dream wedding for her.
Yes.
It's just like, this is peak romance.
Oh my God. Yeah. A surprise wedding.
Surprise dream wedding. Like, he knows her so well.
Only for them would that work. Because I swear, like, I never thought I would like a surprise wedding. And I was like, Krista and Becca here making it happen, where I'm like crying and ready for it. And she got to design her wedding dress.
Yes. And so the dress that she design for Lily is actually her own wedding dress, and they had it altered so that it would fit her. And it ends, the chapter ends.
Yeah.
Kiss the sky with me and don't ever come down. And I love that it's like Connor had dreamed of kissing the sky at one point and being like this higher presence, but it's like he wants Rose to be with him at this point.
It's so good. It's literally, you see
It,
so much growth in Connor.
I
Ah.
know it's he wants they it's- both of them they have a partner and they trust their partner and want to like they want to be teammates. Like yes,
Yes.
they still have their rivalries, but it's not like this. It's more about the little things than
Yes.
about them being together at this point.
Oh,
And I
they're
love
just,
that. I love
yeah.
that they can maintain that that rivalry banter between them, but that we can also get them
Yeah.
being cute and in
Because
love.
we have Connor who like now has emotions and can acknowledge them and isn't afraid, doesn't, no, he knows they're not a weakness. If anything, they're a
Yes. I
strength.
mean, he was crying. Like,
Yeah.
he's not trying not to be as fake as he used to be. And he's realizing that he doesn't need to be as fake. He has a family now
Yeah.
in the core six. And again, they love him for who he is and not some fake person that he's
Yeah.
pretending to be for the sake of like manipulating them for some gain. It's just
Exactly.
he has this family and he can be who
Yeah.
he is. And I love
And
that.
then Rose is finally like comfortable enough to like open up
Yes.
and
She
let
feels
someone
comfortable in her own
in. Yeah.
sexuality and knows how to be a powerful, like, there are so many different ways to be a powerful,
Yeah.
confident woman. And this is her way. And
Yes.
it's a perfect way. And it may not be everyone's way, but it works for her. And that's great. Then we get the epilogue. It's 3 months later. And at this point, Connor's mom has passed away. And he is now the CEO of Cobalt Inc. And he is sharing the new business proposal that he's been working on.
Yeah. Like I'm
Like throughout this
picturing
book.
Steve Jobs announcing Apple Watch or something
Yes.
like, but Connor Cobalt.
Connor Cobalt's version, which is,
Yes.
if there's anything we know, it's women and diamonds. And we learn that he has started Cobalt Diamonds.
He expanded the business.
Yes, he did. So he also tells Rose that like her diamond necklaces and her wedding ring are Cobalt originals.
Yes.
And she's like, now when what is it? When someone asks me who I'm wearing, I'm going to say me and my husband.
Yes. Oh, it's so sweet.
I love it.
Oh my goodness.
So at the end of that, Connor asks, like, they're gonna spend the day together. We learn that Rose wound up not trying to get her clothes into department stores because like she had been doing so well, and then this sex tape scandal happened, and it was and like that kind of ruined her business again, and it's just so fluctuating for her that she's gonna start a boutique. She has a
Yeah.
boutique in Philly now. Where she's going to sell her clothes and not try and
Yes.
get them into department stores anymore. And we find out that they're going to have a dinner date with Lily and Lo. And this is where we see more of that inequity between the way Rose was treated versus the way Lily was treated.
Yes.
And that Rose was always only ever with Connor, while Lily had multiple partners. And the media has kind of lauded Rose.
Yeah.
Some people are still scandalized by her sex tape, but other people are like, no, she's proud of her sex. Like they
Yeah.
put her up on this pedestal.
Empowering. She's
Yes,
empowering women by, like showing that it's okay to have sexuality.
yes. But they did not do the same, and that's totally fine. But they didn't do the same for Lily, and they're very aware of the way the two sisters have been treated, and it's caused some awkwardness between the two
Yeah.
of them.
I mean, that would
Because
be
Rose
hard.
feels guilty for
Yeah,
it,
like
and
that would
Lily
be
feels
hard.
guilty for feeling guilty,
Yeah.
and it's this whole mess that they're kind of dealing
Yeah.
with.
It's hard because, like, I get it.
And we also learn that Scott is still out there and he is still
Mm-hmm.
selling sex tapes and making money off of Rose and Connor. And that they had been in a legal battle and they just had to
Decided
give
to
it up.
call it. Yeah. Sometimes it's not even worth it.
Yes. And then at the very end, Rose tells Connor that she loves him more than she loves anyone else. Like, he is number one. He officially has outranked her sisters.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just love the last paragraph. I love knowing I'll fall asleep and wake up to those impassioned eyes. I love that the most terrifying what if, the one without her, is the path that won't ever come true. My new dreams are in the faraway future, filled with children and love.
That's right.
For those who are not watching this podcast, we've got the president of the Connor Cobalt fan club
Yes.
showing off her credentials.
Yes.
Uh,
But yeah.
that
That
is, yes. So that's the end of Kiss the Sky, and we can talk
such a good book.
about
The bonus scenes.
the Bora Bora. Yes, it's the extended epilogue. It was this one I had already read before. Some of the bonus scenes were new content, but this
Mm-hmm.
one was in the Kiss the Sky special edition with the guy cover. That
Oh.
was so. The one thing I think this first part of the Bora Bora honeymoon is probably like one of my favorites. It's just so it starts off this honeymoon scene. Rose is trying to decide what her married name is going to be. Um, and we have the options: Rose Magdalo Calloway, Rose Cobalt, Rose Calloway hyphen Cobalt, Rose. What the fuck are you doing, Calloway?
That's my favorite.
And Connor's like, when I suggested hyphenating your last name, that's not entirely what I have in mind. 7 hyphens is rather excessive. But I think it's so interesting because they get into this conversation of, well, when we have kids, what are we going to name our kids? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
last name are they going to take? And Connor's like, well, because some part of her wants to maintain the Calloway
Callaway.
name.
Yeah, because they're all girls, so it's ending with them.
Yes. But there's some part of her that wants to maintain that, but then if she takes her name, like Connor's gonna want kids with his name, with the Cobalt name. So he's like, we can do every other, and one kid will be Cobalt, one kid will be
Could
Calloway.
you imagine?
And
That's
she's
my
like, I don't.
brother.
Oh my God.
Like,
And there is a conversation that Connor is willing to share his last name. If he hadn't married Rose, it was very likely that he would have let his potential other wife keep her last name because he's only willing to share his last name with
mhm.
Rose. But when she talks about being a Callaway,
You found
we
it.
can play a game of Scrabble for it. The first one to 200 points can choose whether our children will be Callaway kids or Cobalt kids. Even as he says it, the idea of Callaway babies sounds strange, a name synonymous with 4 sisters, Poppy, Lily, Daisy, and me.
Yeah.
It's like, I get that. I think it's interesting. But yeah, I don't associate the Callaway name with anyone other than those 4 sisters, and it's weird to try and imagine any of the kids that we will eventually see trying to have the
Mm-hmm.
Callaway name. It
Yeah.
just, yeah. I agree with you, Rose. I only associate it with you
Yeah.
4.
No.
But so she finally decides with Rose Callaway Cobalt as her married name.
Perfect.
And it's perfect because his name is Richard Connor Cobalt, so now they have the same initials too.
Oh, I never even put that together.
You didn't?
No.
RTC, this is love. They're talking about both of them. And then they go on their honeymoon. They're taking a private flight to Bora Bora, and Rose is super sick. She's feeling so under the weather, but she's trying to play a game with Connor, with the stakes of like, you can have sex with me whenever you feel horny on the honeymoon if I lose. Um, so, and if I win, then you have to write me a truthful love letter. And so she's trying to win, and Connor's like, you are so ill right now.
I do
I
not.
can't like and she's like, you can't go easy on me. Don't go easy on me for this.
I don't think I've read this.
Yeah, it's
I have the chapter. I have the book, but I don't
I
think I've
love
read
this
it.
bonus scene so much.
Yeah.
Connor's like, this is ridiculous. I just want to touch your forehead and feel if you have a
Yeah.
fever. Don't you touch me. And she winds up losing. He does not go easy on her, and she winds up losing. And she's like, all right, fine. He takes her into the back, and she's like, I'm okay, fine. You're horny now. Okay. I'm ready to have sex with you. And he's like, no, I'm not doing this when you're sick. Lay down. Go to sleep. And so he takes care of her, which I guess like, one of my favorite like micro tropes is when it's the she gets sick and he takes care of her micro trope. And
Yeah.
we get that in this bonus.
It's so cute.
Yeah, she's so ridiculous. I don't think I'm that wet, so you might need to use something. He's like, I'm not gonna have sex with you right now. Go to sleep.
Only Rose Calloway. Only
I
Rose
know.
Calloway.
But so they land in Bora Bora and she's still sick and Connor's just being very romantic over it. Like Rose is a challenge, one I adore and love. My wife, so cute.
I love my
Yeah,
wife.
I repeat it over and over, and the power behind it and love never fades. But yeah, so then when they get to Bora Bora, Rose is like, "You haven't been aroused by me at all since we've been here," and he's like, "No, you have been sick." So they do wind like eventually they do wind up having sex. He does claim his prize, I guess.
Okay.
And at one point they are looking at the stars too, and they go skinny dipping. It's mentioned in a later book, but like Rose talks about how at the end of these kind of trips, so like the end of the Alps trip, they pushed some of their boundaries. And so
Oh.
Alps trip was her having sex for the first time.
Yeah.
In Bora Bora, this is something new that's pushing her boundaries that she wants to try with him. So they go skinny dipping, and then eventually they have sex in one of the cabanas around, and it's not like out in public, but like it's still kind of public. Anybody
Yeah.
could walk past and see them. So that was another
Oh.
boundary that kind of pushed.
It's like they're only willing to be reckless together.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. But then so Connor claimed his prize of like because he was the one that won.
yeah.
It was whenever he was aroused he could have sex with her, but she still gets his very truthful love letter. Darling, you asked me to be truthful. Here's the truth. I spent tonight pressing a washcloth to your forehead, staring into yellow-green eyes that tried to devour me in their ill-weathered state, and I'd spend another 100 immeasurable years looking into those eyes without even a shadow of complaint. Even sick and tired and worn, you match me as I want to be matched. You make me happy as I'd want to be happy. You love me as I could only dream of being loved. I will repay this back. I will repay this back in kindness. I will match you as you need to be matched. I will make you happy as you want to be happy. And I
Oh,
read
that is so good. I can't believe I've gone this long and not known about this.
it's so sweet. I love this bonus scene. Yes. So now you have to go back and read the whole thing
Yeah.
because I
If
that
it's
was the
if
summary.
I thought they
I
were
tried
all
to
on
summarize.
Kindle.
Yeah, you
Oh
can't read it
no.
on your Kindle. It's
Yeah.
only in physical form.
Well, well, well. Guess what I'll be doing after this?
So now, real fast, we have a couple more things to talk about.
Oh, okay.
I think so. One of the we got questions submitted.
Okay. Let's
So
go.
one of the questions I couldn't answer this for Addicted to You, but I feel like I can answer it for Kiss the Sky. It was, when did you know when you were reading this book would be something special? And it was about Addicted to You because obviously like that's the start of the series, and when did you know like these books would be special? But I started with Kiss the Sky. So for me, it was a different relationship that I had been reading than any other relationship that I had read up until this point, which was the fact that Rose and Connor were already together when the book started.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'll see it repeated, even in Krista and Becca's books. Up until this point, it has not been repeated, but being able to see that was just so different for me. And then getting to realize that like the rest of the series, it wasn't that the characters were in love and then they broke up and they were broken up for like a
Yeah.
whole book, because that was kind of, if you were reading like a trilogy or something like that, that was kind of a common
The
plot
normal.
point
Yeah.
of the characters not actually being together and then they get back together at the end of like the third
The
book.
third act. Yeah.
So just understanding that these characters were actually going to remain together throughout the entirety of the series and getting to see past their happily ever after, so to speak, that was what felt special to me and why I wanted to keep reading these books.
I
And
call
Krista
that
and Becca
trusting
do
the authors.
such good.
Like, I always say that because there's certain authors like I completely trust with my couples,
Yes.
and there's certain ones that I'm like so iffy. Like, are you gonna break them up or are you gonna keep them together? And
No. I definitely trust Krista and Becca
yes,
with
no,
these
yeah,
characters. But yeah, so that was when I realized that these books were something special. Another question that was submitted was, which one was our favorite fuck, kill, marry answer options that
oh
Rose
man,
to do?
oh
I think
probably
for me, in this book, it was probably poor Rose and the orange, the tree in the book. Just like how utterly
weird.
bizarre, weird, but like so them.
I mean,
And
they
I
have
wish
books
that we
for
could
that.
get a moment where they like sit down, because you know that they're sitting and analyzing these answers, and I want that scene, and knowing, trying to figure out the reasons why they picked,
What they
why she
pick.
picked the answers that she did.
I need a whole book of just their text messages. No.
Um,
Um, I like the, Reich, Low, Connor, because, yeah,
yeah, that's a good one too.
yeah.
I think that was all of the questions.
That was it. Y'all have nothing.
It was a lot of post and Roman Empire moments, which we
Yeah.
basically covered all of them.
I don't know when my favorite, like when I realized these were special, because I was so hesitant coming into them that I didn't like know if I was even going to keep going. Like,
Yeah.
I honestly did not expect it to take over like months of my life.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever expected that it would get to this level, but it definitely was something different for me than what I had been reading up until that point, because I
Yeah.
had like I've always been an avid reader. I never fell out of it. So I was starting to get to a point where things, a lot of, even 10, oh God, I sound so old. Even 10 years ago, books were like very predictable for me, and this was an unpredictable book. And
Yes.
I loved that
I
about it.
love how raw it was. Like,
Yes.
we could see, like, in the series, you get like these inner monologues, and you're like, oh my God, I've thought that way before. Like, or,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, like, and that to me was kind of like new. And I've found very few books like that since, like, where I can like completely relate to these characters, like thought
Yeah.
processes and stuff. And it's also one of the best fandoms I've found on
For
the book
sure.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I feel like if you
I
don't,
found
yeah,
all my
yeah.
very, very special friends
Mm-hmm.
are because we've read these books, and
Yes.
there's something special there.
I want
I guess
just,
another question, it's more posed towards you, but I think about it every time I read this book. It's more generalized, but it's would you ever be able to read a book with your name or a sibling's name in the book? Because for me, I actually have a brother, and his name is Connor. When I first started this, I won't lie, part of me was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle this, because it's spelled the same way and everything. But let me tell you, Connor Cobalt and my Connor are two very, very different people. And I am very good at, like, I can separate the two of them. But I'm curious what your thoughts would be on it.
I can do my name. I can do, uh, even, I don't think I've read anything with Bianca in it, but I don't think that would bother me.
Okay. So the final thing for this is the trivia quiz.
Yeah, hold on. I was looking up one of the answers. You gotta give me a second.
There, you can phone it in
Okay.
or consult the book.
No, I got this. I'm gonna phone a friend if I need to.
All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Question 1. What character does Connor say Rose resembles? Is it A, the Beast, B, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, C, Robin Hood, or D, Prince Charming?
So I remember them being brought up in the, like, I know, like, the Beast was, like, one because she, like, would fuck him. And he was like, ooh, bestiality, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then Robin Hood, like, nah, nah, nah. I think. I don't know. And Prince Charming was a no, 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 no. Okay. I think it's the Beast.
It is not. It is the
Oh,
Hunchback. When
the
she is
Hunchback.
yes, when she's
Stop.
walking into the house, in like
Oh,
chapter
and she's
2,
carrying the
she's carrying
thing.
the pasta
Yeah.
sauce that's dripping, and he calls her the Hunchback.
Dang it.
But you
I
remember,
really
as
don't.
soon as I
Oh,
gave
it's okay.
clues,
I'll get everyone wrong and I'll be okay because I still love them and I'll fight you. Anybody, fight me.
okay. Question 2 is technically a bonus question, but I
Okay.
think what's ironic about the psychic visit?
Are we talking about the future? Like the twins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It is the prediction about Rose having twins in the future. Question 3. So what are the only dances that Rose knows? A,
I'm gonna get this
waltz
wrong.
and a quadrille. B, jive and waltz. C, waltz and foxtrot. Or D, quadrille and foxtrot.
Um,
I pulled these ones.
yeah, I don't see.
Let me see. I don't remember.
No, that's right. Just trust me.
You're
Actually.
right. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Waltz and foxtrot.
That's right. Yay.
Question 4. I'm not the Queen of England procreating to secure our blank with an heir. Fill in the blank. Yes.
Empire. The Cobalt Empire.
Indeed. Question 5. What is Lily's one request for the wedding?
No lilies.
Correct. All right. Question 6. What play did Rose and Connor see on their first date?
Man.
A, As You Like It, B, Macbeth, C, Twelfth Night, or D, The Tempest?
This is the scene when they're in the bedroom and they're swapping the things. And I remember one of them, he took me to see that on my first date. The Tempest?
It is The Tempest.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
All right.
Suck on it.
All right. Another fill in the blank. Blank is but a fool as we are to the mercy of its hands. Fill in the blank.
Fate? Is it love? Okay. At least I'm not.
It's time.
Time.
Time is but
Oh
a
yeah,
fool
because
as we are to the mercy.
Connor has mad beef with time. He can't control it. He gets mad.
He doesn't. Yes,
Yeah.
He struggles with time.
Yes.
All right. Question 8. All right. This is a quote. Yes. So reconfigure your sense of direction and make your way downstairs. Chop chop. Who says this to whom? A. Connor to Rose. B. Connor to Reich. C. Rose to Lily. Or D. Rose to Daisy.
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
I'll give you a
I feel
hint.
like
Do we think that Connor is going to say chop
see,
chop?
I thought Rose.
It's definitely Rose to someone.
Yeah, okay.
To
I was
Lily
like,
or to Daisy.
well, because you said Reich, I want to say Daisy. But,
Let's go with that. Yes, it's
yes.
Rose to Daisy.
That's more my logical thinking, not my I remember thinking.
Okay, and
Kiss the sky with me and don't ever come down.
all right, I didn't even need to ask that question.
I didn't know these were. I did see them at the end. I'm not gonna lie. I really did think about looking them up, and I was like, no, I'm gonna know this. And the reason, because I remember when I read the one with Rose to Daisy,
Yeah.
but I literally could not remember in this moment which one it was. I was like, oh no.
Yes, I mean, but yes, it was blank, blank, blank with me, and don't ever come down. Fill in the blank. It is kiss the sky.
Yeah, I was trying to. I wanted to give my raw self to it because I was like, let's see.
Love that. You did well.
Yes.
A+.
Bella, way.
All the way. Okay, so that is the end of the Kiss the Sky discussion. This is the end of part 2 and the end of the book. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate everyone who has made it this far. I know a lot of these are long episodes, and I appreciate anyone who takes the time to listen to me and my friends talk about these books. It means a lot. And please continue to stay addicted to Kristen Bauer's writing like us.